Hello everyone and welcome back to In the Mist. And Raven here. I know it's been a really long time, a couple weeks since I was able to make a video. A lot has happened in this week, the past few weeks, and I've just been able to come back on and share with you the maiden goddess that we will be working with tonight. And her name is Diana, also known as Artemis. And she is the goddess of the hunt, the goddess of wild animals, and also Diana is known to be the goddess of witches. And I have some sage burning in the background, and so today we're just going to be making a Diana incense so we could burn around the August times, because that was known to be a feast to Diana in August. I think it's around August 17th or so, a feast to Diana and celebrating that goddess. And she's also a maiden goddess and known as a, just similar to Artemis, as one of those maiden goddesses that are known to be a virgin. And virgin in the sense of not taking a counterpart, so to speak, and just laying with whoever she wants and being with whoever she wants. And she is also a goddess of women, known to protect women during childbirth, and in that aspect, she's related to a mother goddess as well. And also, I've heard, I don't know if this is true because I haven't read every myth for Diana, that she was also a crone goddess, because she was connected to the realm of the underworld, and she was a goddess of the underworld for a minute. But I'm not sure if that's entirely true, and don't quote me on that, but goddesses and gods are ever-changing, and with this day and age, and gods and goddesses coming out and re-emerging or being created, a goddess you can explore a goddess and she could symbolize a whole bunch of things for you. And I believe that. I definitely subscribe to that ideology, is that when gods and goddesses can change and adapt to what we also need them to be and what is called for at the time. I don't think that they're fixed entities. I think that they can stand for a lot of different things, and we can call on them for many different things as well as the things that they once stood for, such as with Diana, with wild woods and childhood, or childbirth and childhood, and protecting women. And also Diana can be a force to explore your shadow side, because I know in my own experiences when I've worked with Diana, I explored the darkness of the woods instead of just the light aspects of her. I explored getting lost in the woods, and how when I say woods, I mean like a metaphorical woods. And when you kind of have that meditation, of being in Diana's woods, and her woods can be very dense and just with a dense woods or dense forest, like the sunlight doesn't really penetrate it that often, or it's really difficult to do so. And so working in that way, in that meditative space, and going back to a time when you yourself felt lost and there was no way out, then she could be a guide for you in that aspect. And it's also a good way to work with her. So that's a little bit of Diana and different ways of working with her. And then this incense that I'm going to show you how to create is going to be working with her in the shadow aspects of her realm, in the darkness of her forests. And also remembering that even though you are experiencing, if you're going through this meditation of traveling in the darkness of her woods, and you are experiencing that sense of lost and confused and not being able to get out of those woods, that there's still magic in that, and there's still power in those experiences. And it's also a good thing to explore, even with a goddess whose name means light, or the light of day. And even with goddesses like that, like they still have a darker aspect to themselves, just like all of us do. And so with this incense that I'm going to be showing you how to create, you can use in different ways on how you choose, but this is mainly to explore your shadowy darkness, so to speak, and using it for the meditation of going into the density of her forests and experiencing that wildness and surrendering to that dark, wild side that every one of us possesses. And not harming anyone or yourself in the process as well. Just to put that out there. Like, yes, it's okay to be wild, it's okay to be dark and amazing like that, but not harming. We're not here to harm people or harm ourselves. So, let's get into the incense making. So, first things first, I'm going to switch you guys around, so sorry for the shake. Alright, so switching you guys around, there's the goddess Diana, an image of her that I printed off my computer and just stuck in a frame for tonight. And this is what we're going to be working with. I'm going to be making the incense in this bowl, and there's not going to be any grinding or anything like that. It's just a loose incense that you can create, and besides, the things that I would have to grind are already ground into a powder form, like myrrh and frankincense and these rose petals that I'm going to put in there. And the red sandalwood. I don't have white sandalwood, so we're just working with red. And then I'm going to add witch hazel because she is a goddess of witches. And I have sage burning in the background over there just to clear the air and make sure everything is clean of all the energies I don't want into the incense. So try to maneuver. So we're just going to get centered and peering with Diana, looking at her, remembering what she stands for and also what she could help us with today. Goddess of wild woods, goddess of the dense dark forests, wild animals, large and small, goddess of witches and goddess of women, goddess of the hunt. Just bringing that energy in, breathing into that before we get started. Okay, so I always add my powder forms first into, and I'm not using like a measuring, just gonna pour it in. Maybe. Okay. Break some of that powder up. Probably should get more red frankincense. I do have some in rock form, but I know that it takes such a long time to chop or beat down into or grind down into a powder. But you don't need a lot because I'm just using it for not using a huge amount. And just keeping that intention of connecting with Diana and knowing that what she stands for and what you want to call on her for. Just keeping that intention as you're grinding through these things or pressing your fingers through these things and enchanting with each step and each herb that you're using or resin. And adding some myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh always go hand in hand. And frankincense, I'm using the qualities of meditation work, spiritual growth, and purification. And then frankincense, or myrrh, I'm going to be using for lifting vibrations. Myrrh is a good resin to use in any incense, in my opinion, as a base to lift vibrations. I'm just stirring that in, mixing those energies together. And still enchanting as you go. And then I'm going to be adding Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed because I don't have my mount to mount you guys, so I can use two hands, so it's a bit difficult. Just getting some rose petals, and then these were given to me by people that I loved and were friends with, the rose petals that I'm putting in here, and I'm just ripping them. And I'm using rose for protection and love. Making sure they're dusted into that. Let me get a little bit more from my little jar here. So for protection and love, because you always want to have protection when you're going into a meditative journey. If that's what you're going to be using the incense for. You can call on Diana as your guide through the forests, her dense woods. And just getting dusted into that. Alright. And then I'm going to be using the red sandalwood. And just making sure that's dusted with the frankincense and myrrh. Okay. And then let me try to open this. And I'm using the witch hazel. When I use witch hazel, I look at it as the witch's herb, and that's why I'm putting it in Diana's incense, because she's known to be the goddess of the witches. And witch hazel is really great for divination. So when you're doing a guided meditation or a meditation to journey within, then it gives you vision and sight. The witch hazel does. Put more rose in there. Nothing wrong with a little bit more protection in that area when you're doing that sort of work. Just to balance out the other herbs. So you can see like most of the frankincense and myrrh is getting dusted over all of these other energies and ingredients. So when you burn it in a well-ventilated area, then you're still getting the frankincense and myrrh heightening all of the other qualities. And just keeping your intention in mind, keeping Diana in your mind of what you want to do, how you want to work with her when you burn this. And you can even use this as an offering to her as well. Okay. So, and then you can just put it in a jar or leave it where it is and save it for another time when you're ready to use it. Just giving you another look of Diana. I'm just leaving that there to kind of bask in her presence so it can be empowered by her for what I need it to, for what I need it for. And so working with the maiden goddesses can be pretty simple. And most of it that I do when I work with maiden goddesses, at least recently, is that I just make it up and I be spontaneous as I go, because that's what the maiden goddess symbolizes for me, is spontaneity and just going with your gut instincts and really going all the way with it and not holding back. Because with goddesses like Diana and Artemis, they really did what they wanted to do, and they didn't let anyone hold them back. And that's what I think these goddesses, Artemis, Diana, and many of the other maiden goddesses during this maiden voyage that we're doing can teach us, is to remember our voice and remember our determination and our dreams of what we had when we were a kid and what we had when we were in young womanhood, and remembering that we still yearn for that. And these goddesses can help us acquire some of that long lost girlhood, or girlhood that we never got to experience, and really take power into that. So without further ado, I am signing off. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel, and check out all the other things on my channel. There will be more. I will post more, at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on what crazy stuff happens in my life this time, because it's been pretty crazy summer. And yeah, show me what you guys end up doing. If you guys end up making this, I would love to see how it worked for you, or how other ways that you've worked with Diana or Artemis. Please leave comments down below. And thank you for stopping by at In the Mist, Anaya Raven, and many blessings.